people, how you doing? Jeremy here. What we're doing today is checking out Tank M. It's a 37-gallon tank that a friend of mine gave me a couple of months ago, and I have begun using it for an indoor tropical warm water aquaponics project. It's not built yet, but the tank is on a stand. There will be a little bit more stuff up here. There's probably going to be one more of these grow tubs. I call them a grow tub. They're storage containers. Home Depot brand. These are 14 gallons. I've got a 14-gallon here, a 14-gallon here. I think I'll add another 14-gallon above this, and then a slightly smaller one above that, which will just be filled with sand. That's going to get water pumped up from a sump system, which is a slightly taller one of these. I think it's like 18 gallons. Might be a lot more than that. It's like 4 inches taller than these guys, so I don't know. But it's tall enough to be a sump. Water pumps up into the top system, which isn't here yet. The sand grow bed, and that's going to act as a filter. It's going to catch any sludge from the sump. Go down from there, trickle into our upper tub. It will not have a bell siphon, but the lower tubs will. This tank will probably get this hang-on back filter removed. It will probably have a hole drilled in the glass on this side for a bulkhead to go through. That bulkhead will drain down into our grow media bed here. This one is going to have a device called a bell siphon, which will allow the water level to rise to the point where we want it, and then begin siphoning off to the lower grow bed. This grow media bed will similarly have a bell siphon in it, which will allow the water level to rise up to a desired point. From there, it will begin siphoning off until all of the water is drained out. From there, it will go down into the sump, which isn't present yet. It's actually hanging out outside still. But once this system gets plumbed, it's going to operate a bit differently. But for now, we're just finishing up cycling this system for the first time. Now, this tank, I call it Africa. Even though it's got guppies. I have guppies around the world, themes going in mini tanks, whether it's Asia, South America, North America, whatever. This one's Africa. It happens to have yellow guppies. I think that's cool. That's for me, not for anybody else. But in doing this, as I said, we're just cycling. Let's take a look at my water log, which is what I call my water maintenance information. Last we checked this tank, nitrates had crept up to 35 ppm. That's not terrible, but we'll address that. More that I'm concerned on, nitrites have crept up into nearly 0.5 ppm. I don't like to be able to measure those. So I am, just for the health of the fish, it's going to prolong cycling a little bit, but I'm going to do a fairly large water change. And we've got a siphon over here. I put a sponge filter on the end of the siphon. But maybe before that, we're going to get the snips out and kind of take some of the yucky foliage off of this plant up here. Gosh, I don't even need scissors for it. I can break these off, but I'll show you why I'm doing this. These leaves are kind of falling apart. As they do, they'll begin to break down, decay, and release some nitrogens, and that will contribute to the overall nitrite and nitrate components. So any foliage that doesn't just look fantabulous, I'm going to snip, because I'm actually, but whatever. There are still some that look kind of funky, this one especially. This one's already decaying on the plant. And some of this decay, that's from transplanting into this tank a few weeks ago, but that will contribute to my water nitrogen, and I don't want that right now. We're trying to limit that. So snip, 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 try to be kind of careful, and it's already looking way better in here. I see a free-floating leaf chunklet down there. Maybe I'll be able to get to it. Score. That's yucks. And I see a leaf over here that's kind of yellowing. Again, these are all African plants with the exception of a Java fern here and here. Those were attached to one of the pieces of wood, so I thought I'd do more harm than good trying to remove them. I may take them out at some future point. But let's go back to the water quality. That's really why I'm over here. If I want to remove quite a bit of nitrates, and let's say I were to pull out half of the water in here, I would remove roughly half the ppm of any water parameters that I'm measuring, whether it's a nitrate, nitrite, ammonia, chlorine, phosphate, doesn't really matter. If I remove half of it from the water and put back in tap water that's treated or rainwater, that stuff's not going to have phosphate or nitrate in it, very likely. There's one caveat I'll mention: chloramine, which is essentially nitrogen's bound to a chloride, that can mess some stuff up. So try to know from your water source whether it has chloramine in it or not. That's something that plays more and more a part in aquatics hobbying, whether it's indoor, outdoor, tropical, or not. If we're putting water from a municipal tap source, we need to know if it just has chlorinated or gaseous chlorination, or if it's bound into chlorine. That will have quite an effect on what you're doing. So, I'm about to do water maintenance. The first thing I did, I went over and unplugged the heaters. There are two in this tank. There only needs to be one, but I have two. That makes each of them kind of operate as a crutch for the other. And also, it kind of helps in dialing them in. But also, I unplugged this hang-on back, because the water level is going to go down. Those heaters would be unshrouded. It could possibly be a source of a failure for them. We don't want to have heater failures. Heater failures usually stick on the wide open, cook your fish setting. If they do fail, that sucks. Anyway, we'll be taking a good bit of time, like in the form of an hour, to do a good water change, check some stuff, maybe plant some things a little more better, then come back and give you a view of what it looks like once we've actually done the maintenance and get a little bit of this wood tannin and such out of the water. Thanks for checking, thanks for joining. If you enjoy this sort of thing, give us a like, give us a subscription, click that bell. You'll be able to see when we drop more videos. I've got excellent Mr. Cameraman, Uncle Raymond here, and I think he's a permanent part of the team now. So we'll be rolling right along with that, and you'll probably see more frequent videos, and hopefully lots of information that people in general can use to better their hobbies and their understanding of aquatics. Thanks, guys. Hope you have a great day. I'll give